What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the KDK podcast. It's your boy Koo.
What up, is Dala?
What up, it's Kong here.
All right, in today's episode, we're gonna start off with a Korean zombie series that we've seen on Netflix. I just got done watching the entire thing yesterday. So first of all, guys, what are your reviews? Or what are your just summary or thoughts of this show?
What's the name of the show?
It is called All of Us. All of Us Are Dead.
All of Us Are Dead. Currently on Netflix right now. I thought it was good initially, and then it got kind of like but then it's still good enough to where I want to see season 2. That's just my first initial thoughts.
Yeah, I thought at the beginning when everything was building up, I thought it was really good. All the tropes of zombies was really good. I was really into the high school perspective of it. And then it kind of got slow and boring. And then it kind of got dumb. But I do agree. Like, we already watched it. If season 2 comes out, I'll watch season 2 also.
Thought it was an okay series, but it was kind of like, if you were to say like, is it a good okay or a bad okay? I'll say it's a bad okay series. So I like kind of the world that they set up. This pretty much zombie apocalypse or whatever, this zombie outbreak on. I like how the zombies are. They're scary, but how the story's ran is really stupid. So that's what makes me not really want to watch it. The ending to the last episode of this season did kind of make me want to see, all right, what's next? But at the same time, I thought the story was written so bad to the point where I don't want to watch season 2 anymore. But just going off, what are some things you actually liked about this, specifically the series? To me, I like how the zombies were. I liked how they're scary looking. I liked pretty much the chase scenes. When the characters were running, for some reason they were pretty good at dodging hits, So I like those scenes, but at the same time But yeah, I guess I'll just stick to what I like for now. I'll tell you the cons later.
Yeah, I would agree. I like how the zombies are. They're fast, they're vicious, they look ugly, they look scary, they turn quick too, so that makes it even more intense. And the action and sequences in there is pretty good. All the kids fighting and barricading and running. And just like who said, and Kong, like the perspective of being in high school. So I thought that was kind of a cool setting.
I'm a zombie guy. I love zombie movies, so I just like it because they just did the zombie aspect of it really well. I don't know if you guys seen the other Korean Netflix movie that's zombie Stay Alive, the guy who stays in his apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen
So
that.
that one, the zombies, they are really dumb and like thinking about logically and Stay Alive, the zombies, it doesn't make sense because if you he's on the 5th floor of an apartment. If he makes a move, all the zombies outside will be running to his apartment, right? Whereas in this series, All of Us Are Dead, it kind of stays with the regular zombie norms where, they're not super hearing where, if someone's on the 5th floor of the school building and they make a noise, all the zombies, even outside, is going to run towards them. It's not really like that. It's more like the usual zombies. And, production-wise and everything was just really good. I don't know.
You guys like how the story is written and pretty much the characters? How do you guys feel about how the story is written and how the characters are?
Yeah. Before we
You
go
like-
to that,
Uh-huh.
just a brief overview of it is basically, the main characters are the guy and the girl who's childhood friends. The girl's name is Anju. I forgot the guy's name. What? Neong Ram or something.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's how bad it is.
Chung Sun or
Chung San, yeah, Chung San, yeah. Chung San and Anju. Did not sound ignorant right there. But yeah, those are basically the two main characters. They start off with them, their childhood friends. One of them, the guy has a crush on the girl, but the girl has a crush on another guy. That other guy, I forgot his name too, but he's like another main character. Basically, the clique of friends, which is like about 5 to 8 of them, they're like the main group. And yeah, they're in the high school where the zombie outbreak's at. That's essentially the storyline of it. I thought storyline wise, I thought when it came to just what's this Sung Seong Ron?
I don't know. It's so bad. I don't remember. I just explained.
guy.
Yeah.
Chung
Chung
San.
San.
I just described them by like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the main character, or oh, the guy who used to be a bully, but now he's not.
Yeah, no, Chung San and Anjo's storyline I like. I think that's like the only storyline I like.
So I don't even know who you're
Every-
talking about right now. Is it
The two main characters.
Oh,
and the guy.
the guy and
Yeah.
the neighbor, the next door neighbors?
Yeah, those are the only storyline that I like. Everything else, like, there. I don't want to go too much to it. I'll go after when you
You
guys
might
share
as
too. But
You might as well.
but essentially, I feel like all the other characters were meaningless and pointless. Like some of them didn't even need to be there. Some of their storylines went nowhere. Some of their storylines are not even storylines; they're just there. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Mhm.
But the best two storylines, even though it's not like super amazing or poetic, it's just like, oh, okay, I get it because they built these two up from the beginning. Is the two main characters, Chung San and Anjo.
Mhm.
Yeah, that pretty much. It's to me, the story was written so bad. There was really no character development because so in the beginning, I feel like they don't really focus on the character being developed. They just pretty much have the actions, and then the students are stuck together, and then they just argue about stupid shit like students. Like, oh man, you did this to me back then, all this stuff, and then it's kind of like what? But they don't really even care about like the zombie outbreak at that time anymore. So it's like, I don't know, it feels kind of stupid. And then I feel like Kong said, all the other stories that they build up with other characters is pretty much pointless because they don't even really build up their stories nicely. It's like the dad. So the dad pretty much saw the who's that daughter the firefighter dad with the main character
Anjo.
Anjo. So she and her dad saw each other at pretty much the very beginning of the episode ish, and then after that, he said like he'll pretty much come back to save her or if anything happened, and they showed a lot of parts where they showed him just having to go through his whole process of trying to go back to the school to save her.
Mhm.
But to me, that process was so. All those times they could have focused that to actually build like other characters way better. I feel like a lot of those times it was really pointless, and kind of like that. The cop from the cop where the who's it? The scientist,
Mhm.
the cop and the science teacher. The cop was pretty much useless. His storyline was hella useless because the teacher told him to go to the school, and that's where he'll find the cure. So they spent all this time focusing on the cop's story and his journey, all for him just to get locked up again. And then all this stuff for them to go to the school to go get the laptop that contains all the information about the disease and how to cure. In the end, there was no cure, so that was pointless. So there was just a lot of that, or like characters are built when they died. You really couldn't really connect with them, since a bunch of them died so fast, or a bunch of them didn't really connect with other characters at all. They just kind of died off, and that was that.
Mhm. I think they kind of took an approach like a movie, instead of like understand that, hey, it's a series and we need to build up each character. Because in a movie you have only a set limited of time, right? Like 2 hours for your movie, so you have to build each character and tell their storyline like as much as you can. And then for them, some of them they just got killed quickly, or they were just meant to die, not really be important, and they didn't dive into their stories. But yeah,
I feel like that's kind of the opposite, because when you actually have like a series, you
you
actually
should
have that
be able
time
to,
to like
yeah,
build the
yeah.
characters up.
yeah,
So I know like a lot of people, they don't really want to watch series because they don't really like that slow time where like the characters kind of get to develop. Some people, they just want to see a bunch of actions, which this one I feel like there were parts where it was slow, but those slow parts were pretty much meaningless. So let's just say the next door neighbor, the main character, the guy, his mom who owns a chicken restaurant. They in the beginning they didn't even build like their relationship that well. So you know how the mom died pretty early on trying to find his son, and then later on towards the end of the series, he saw his mom as a zombie. I mean, like obviously the human in you're gonna think, oh, damn, that's sad, but just kind of connecting with them. I couldn't connect with them because I didn't even know like how they are kind of as a relationship. Like, are they like actually close as mom and son, or like I don't know their interaction because they never really interact that much in the series to a point where like I actually get to like feel like I care for both of them. So I'm like, I didn't really care that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I said, the beginning was really good. They did kind of start off character development a bit, but they dove in. I like it when it's a horror movie, like a ghost movie or zombies, where they dive in, right? Because you already know what you're in for. So I like that, but at the same time, that kind of costed them. Like for example, supposedly important characters die, right? But then there wasn't really any character development where you see that Anjo's best friend, the only time they showed Anjo and her best friend having fun was going to Chung-san's mom's restaurant trying the recipe, right? But then when Anjo's best friend passed away, there wasn't really any emotions attached, and they kind of used the cheap way of escaping that by doing flashbacks. And when you see the flashback, like, oh damn, that's like me and my friends hanging out. But then that's like kind of, I guess, the best that they can do it, right? Because
they didn't even show those flashback like that actually happened previously, right? It's just new flashback
that
you've never seen before.
Of
it's
new
like, wait, but I've never
content,
seen this, so you don't even understand like what?
Yeah, same with when Chung-san's mom, when he saw his mom's zombie, and then boom, flashback of all these new scenes that you didn't really build off with. It's just more new content, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it, but like there's not really much emotion. Although there was a little bit of emotions when of the scene for me, like when Chung-san saw his zombie mom and they're beating up his zombie mom, his friends were, and he's like, stop. He started beating up his friends. They're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? And he called out mom. They're like, oh damn, like, okay, that was pretty good. But like other than that, like I don't know, just there wasn't enough development where you care enough, I would say.
I think for me, like, because when it's so action based, that do you want them to like cut into a moment like that for like a whole episode, or for like 20 minutes and like ruin the vibe that the current vibe is, where like they're in danger? Do we want to do like a little filler for 10-15 minutes to explain these little relationships, like or what would you expect? How do you guys expect good character development?
I think
based on the show,
I think they could have definitely had Mr. Lee, the scientist who started the zombie apocalypse, the virus he created. And the reason why Mr. Lee created the virus is because his son kept getting bullied. So the virus was supposed to, when a person has the flight or fight reaction, it's supposed to like make them superhuman so they can fight back. So he did that on his son, and that was like the first episode where they showed the background story, how the zombie virus started. But I think that if they made like the son a character and slowly build on that, then they can have like the extra time to develop all these other characters too. I don't know. I'm not a writer, but I think that's like a good idea. And another thing is I don't know about you guys, but after the build up and the zombie breakout, there was like the middle chunk of the season where they're just in a classroom and I have no idea what's going on. It's so boring to me. Start dozing off, right? Like I guess that was the character development, but like I didn't really care. It's so boring, you know? Like think about it, you're in the zombie apocalypse. You're not gonna sit in class all day, you know? You're not gonna. I don't understand. One thing is they kept escaping. They ran outside, but they always keep running inside back to the school, hallways crowded with zombies, into a classroom with no lock. Like I don't understand why they kept doing it. Wouldn't you run outside, away from the outbreak? You know, I don't know.
I think at the time that they had, because there were slow moments too, like time where like, let's say they ran to like a different room, and then obviously they're in the room and they had to figure out how to get out. But that was a slow moment where like they could actually build the characters up. But a lot of those times, they just kind of just spent the time arguing with each other and like blaming each other for stuff. And it's kind of like, what? I guess, and then once that happens, then they come out with a plan and they go, do you execute the plan? Usually, like, it fails. Then they go to another room, get stuck in the other room. And then they pretty much argue again most of the time. And it gets really annoying. And I feel like some of the other characters really don't need to be in there. Like the one, I don't know. I just feel like there are at least 4 or 5 characters that, maybe even 6, 7, that if you didn't spend that time just to focus on these characters, which are useless, you could have used all these time to actually focus to develop these other characters. You know, because obviously if you have so much characters, you're gonna have to film them, and a lot of these characters, you're focusing time on them, but then they just die too, and you don't really care about them, and that kind of takes the time off to focus on the more important characters, and that doesn't really kind of like help too. I would say it would be good if they actually have like flashbacks of like before all that zombie stuff happened. You know, it would be good to have the scientist teacher's son too, because obviously the son went to school with them. So the son, it would be good to have like a flashback of way before this thing even happened, and like the son actually like interacting with them, or like maybe if they don't know them, at least like they're in the same scene, but they just don't know the son, you know, because the son got bullied by the same bully who bullied everyone else, and got beat up by the same people. So it's all connected, but they don't connect it. You know, they kind of keep this person over here, and then this person connects a little bit with this person, but then this person dies, and then it's just like, what? Like the one girl, the redhead girl, she was in the series. She was the one who put like the cloth with the blood on that one guy.
Handkerchief girl, yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty much pointless because they showed a lot of her in there, and then they showed it to the point where she finally wanted to like, go meet up with them and bring them food, but then she died. And that's it. And it's like, what? So all this build up of like actually focusing on her and all these time you spent on her to die like that, it was kind of pointless to the point where I felt like, what? She pretty much spent time on her own all this time, and you're just wasting all this damn time when you could just focus on this other character and build, his relationship up with like other people, or like showed more of other people.
So I guess there's a dilemma there then, right? So if you show too much of the other characters, then you miss showing the main one. But if you show so much of the main one, you don't show the other ones, right?
I just feel like,
so they have to find a balance, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with Koo. Like, instead of doing the last minute like flashback when someone dies and you're already like, I mean, you're not even attached it. Why not, when they're like stuck in the room, instead of the dumb, pointless dialogue and arguments, why not have one of them do a flashback, and then that's their character development, right? Instead, they do last minute flashback when someone dies. And then, cool, bring up that handkerchief girl. I want to bring, I guess, the topic to like a lot of these characters, their development or story arcs are pointless. Like the handkerchief girl, I would say she's probably like one of the star of the show, right? Like what she did, and you're kind of wondering, damn, what is she gonna do now, right? She's like a brat. She kind of hates on people. She killed Chung-san's best friend because everybody keep telling her that Chung-san's best friend's not infected, which he wasn't. But to prove her point, she infected him anyway. And then, she ran away. The teacher, who also had her own development and character that, is really good. Their teacher symbolized like humanity, morality. So, the handkerchief girl left the group because everybody knew that she killed that guy. So she left, and then the teacher chased after the handkerchief girl, right? So you're like, okay, I wonder what their character development's going to be like. Then in the next episode, or whenever the handkerchief girl pops up, you find out that the teacher died just chasing her. And then she's like now trying to be a good person, but you can't really be a good person when you literally killed somebody and it's like the next day only, right? And then you think, okay, let's give it a shot. This is where her story is going. What is she going to do? And then they just kill her off like that. And just kind of like, what's the point of this? What's the point of her running away? Why not just kill her when she ran away? Why kill the teacher too? Right? Like, it's kind of like a lot of storylines goes off the cliff like that.
Yeah, I agree, because it does show a lot of scene where she's in that room with all these food and everything, but it doesn't really build anything. She's still in that room. Obviously, she shows emotion of her like kind of wanting to join them, but that doesn't really show me anything much until like a lot of these stuff are stuff that like you could do this, but you don't do it, which is like dumb stuff. And it doesn't actually really build a character, because it's just you're just in the room, and then when you finally want to like try to help, also you just die. But then like no one else cares too, because no one else knows. I don't really care because I don't really see their character development with at all. She's just in a room by herself, like what the hell? And they just show a lot of stupid scenes like that, which I feel like it's unnecessary, to where you could already just use that to kind of help someone. Like we were talking about with flashback, like when the main character's mom died and he saw his mom, they showed flashback because he had flashbacks of his mom was still alive. But those are flashbacks that we didn't even get to see or experience, right? So we don't even know the connection. So how the heck would I care, I know that that's your mom, which is sad, obviously. But it's like, I don't really care, I don't get to see enough scenes of you and your mom together, your relationship. Yeah, so I would say like when those slow times come, it would be good to have them. They're just pretty much a flashback of like their relationship with whoever that's in the scene with them, or like their mom or whoever's close to them, just so we could kind of get to go through their relationship with everyone. But they didn't really do too much of that, so it was to the point where I don't care, and they just kill people off so dumb to the point where like I actually thought it was stupid.
All right, well, what about you, Dala? I'm gonna take this dog out real quick.
But I think in general, you understood most of the characters' background a little bit, right? It's just it wasn't enough to make you care about them, but you understood kind of mainly each character. Like you understood the nerdy dude, you understood the dude whose sister's the archer, you understood the bad girl, the handkerchief girl. She was a loner.
I understood that.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough to make you care about them.
Yeah, it's still just kind of like, this, like everyone has their own personality, and everyone's like kind of like, this person's the what is it, who's the leader of the class? What is it?
The president.
She's the president, but then she doesn't talk to anyone, so they don't like respect her. There's like this person who's like the cool guy, just the bully. And everyone kind of plays their own part in the movie, but it's not to a part where like you really care for them. And I feel like that's when the character development comes, where you have to actually have like a backstory of how they are the way they are. Some of them have small backstories so you can understand, but then it doesn't give enough to where you actually care for them. Kind of like the two bully people who were at the top of the roof,
Mm-hmm.
they were pretty pointless to me too. You know, even though like, though to me they were pretty pointless because I didn't care much for them. You know.
Yeah, I do want to continue on more storylines of characters that are pointless. But Dala, before I go on a rant, do you have anything to say about it?
No, I like, you know, at the end of season 1, yeah, you do just think, okay, there's a few people that you feel like, okay, you care about, but most of them aren't developed enough to where you do care, but you do understand the gist of just who they are as a person. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna talk about storylines that are useless for these characters, but I'm gonna start with the characters that are decent, or okay, have decent storylines. Chung-san, Anjo, Anjo's crush, the tall guy who can always beat all the zombies' ass and save everyone. Forgot his name. The Arrow girl that you mentioned, she was a pretty awesome character, and that short girl that was with the Arrow girl, the one with all the attitude.
Yeah.
Like I think she's like probably one of my favorite characters, but because you know she's like unlike everybody else, she doesn't really give a fuck and she says what she wants to say. And then I think those are all the good storylines. And then let me could go on with the storylines that went nowhere, right? I already talked about the handkerchief girl. I talked about the teacher already. Koob mentioned the police guy, you know, pointless there.
The pregnant girl.
The pregnant girl was useless too. Like this is girl
right.
It was like,
who was
But
hiding.
maybe season 2 will explain those things. Yeah.
maybe
I
if they
mean-
go flash, but I'll just like, I don't care no more. I don't want to care no more. Like,
I mean, like okay.
I mean, if they go back, it'd be fine, but kind of late. I don't want.
There's a pregnant girl who she's in high school. She's hiding her pregnancy.
She don't even. Yeah.
She gave birth. She turned to a zombie and died. The police guy encountered the baby and saved the baby. That's basically it. So there's like no point of that.
The live stream dude was useless.
The live stream dude was really useless. He went into the city where the school was to live stream the zombie apocalypse to get views, and he got stuck. So the police guy saved him, and they left the city. Oh no, the police guy saved them. Yeah, they left the city, right? And then the whole story arc for the police guy was, he was with Mr. Lee, the guy who started the virus. Mr. Lee's like, go to my laptop. It's in my lab in the school. It has all my research. It can help find a cure. It's like, yes, you know. He's like, you're like, he's probably gonna go in there. And then he tells the soldiers, right? The soldiers go to the school with the helicopter, and here comes another stupid, like, dumb writing where the soldiers go into his lab. It's a laptop, right? They like grab a chip. We're gonna transfer all the files over to this chip, this USB. Why not just take the laptop?
Yeah,
It's a
that was pretty
laptop.
stupid.
And then later on, the lieutenant was like, we couldn't gather all the information from the laptop. Which goes to my point, why not just bring the laptop?
They did bring it too, though, right? They like did a scanning and then they brought it, right?
No, they scanned it, they closed it, they left. I remember.
So stupid. Yeah, I remember in that moment I was like, the hell? Just grab the laptop. Yeah.
So dumb.
And then another storyline, which I'll let you guys dive into, is Anjo's father, the firefighter. What was dumb about his storyline, and why did it go off the cliff?
It was just so dumb how he died the same episode he found them.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he could have at least lived for a
Yeah.
couple more episodes.
Like, yeah.
Like, the whole build-up of like she like wanting her dad to be her hero to save her, and him like saying I'll always help you if you're in danger, and also boom, okay, yes, he finally fulfilled it. And also boom, he sacrifices himself. Like, bro, okay, that was stupid. Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, I feel like they could have had him and his daughter reconnect maybe like four episodes before the season ended. So like maybe like episode 8 or 7 to actually build a character too, like actually being together. Because the only time they were together was when they're at home eating, and then when he came to their school to get the sick girl. That was the only time when they interacted. Which to me, like there's not enough interaction for me to even really care, because I don't know how the relationship is really like.
Yeah.
So then when she was like, my dad promised to come get me, like I didn't really care because I don't know, at least I would like for him to actually come, maybe like episode 6 or 7, and boom, few episodes later, they kind of build a character and he actually like gets to be with them and we all get to know him too, and then when he could die, like okay, at least he was there to like kind of like actually go through it to help, but like Dallas said, it's stupid how you, because pretty much the whole series was just his journey of trying to come back to the damn school and just to die when he got there to save them. But I think the politicians were stupid too. I don't find no point in them. Oh, just a bunch of dumb stuff.
I guess I feel like maybe they're trying to just like add some human to it, right? Like there's a lot of normal and other people in this world, not just high school kids, right? I guess that's all they're trying to do. But then that's also to a flaw, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like she'll have a bigger impact on season 2, the politician chick. And I feel like it may be a speculation, but I don't know. I'll just say, I feel like she was Namran's mom. Because Namra, she was saying how her mom donated to the school, like her mom's a big shot, so I feel like that's her mom.
Well, that's what I thought when the first happened, right, where he went to where the politicians were, and then I thought when he said my daughter is in school, she needs my help, and I thought the politician would be like, my daughter goes there too, but the politician didn't say anything, which that's why I knew like, oh, that's not her daughter then. Or, like she doesn't have a daughter that goes to school there too. So it'd be kind of dumb for her to then later on say, oh yeah, my daughter go to that school too, That would make their story even stupider, so they better not do that.
Yeah. And back to the firefighter, just to add on, like his sacrifice didn't even need to be a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like they were in a tennis court fenced, and the zombies were coming through one entrance, and they could have escaped through the other entrance. For some reason, he's like, run, I'm going to stay. Like, no, you could run with them too.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
There's a lot of dumb sacrifice like that.
Like, if you're stuck, just climb the fence, Like,
y'all really had a chance to reconnect the relationship from there on, and then they just cut it off. Like, that, like, damn.
Yeah, it's kind of, they're finally, like, together. Okay, and let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, dude dies. Like, what?
I never understood why like her dad was so against getting good grades too. Obviously he's a firefighter, but like why was he so against it? Like who cares? Who cares about getting good grades? Just think about health and your life or your health and stuff. Like they didn't really explain that. Unless did you guys catch it?
I guess that just kind of goes to like how each character is. Like how there's a character who like.
Oh, it's all about school.
Yeah, it's
like
all
Namra's all about school.
Yeah, and then this
person
was just like a straight up bully. Like even when the bully got bit and turned to a zombie, like he didn't even care. Oh, I'm a zombie. He's just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna go get his eye because payback. Yeah. That's stupid. Like there's no character development. It's like they don't care at all. That's why I have to say like when
you are who you are. Yeah.
That's why I thought it was kind of stupid.
And I feel it may be more that saying like. Don't worry too much about your education, more like, as long as you're healthy or something like that. I think that has more to do with the Korean culture too, about like prioritizing education maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what? But it goes from the opposite of what he said, right? Don't focus too much on school.
Yeah, how the dad was saying like don't.
Yeah, because like I'm just saying like this is just a generalization
just kind of
assumption, like because you know how like Asian societies they really prioritize school, so I think. The show's kind of prioritizing too. At the end of the day, like as long as you're healthy, that's all that really matters too. Yeah. But yeah.
The only thing I really was looking forward to that I would say was the very end when she saw the roof of the high school.
Namra.
Yeah, Namra saw it and then she was like, "Whoa, who did that?"
Oh wait, Ongja. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
so then she went back, and then they went. And they actually saw her, and then she was like, "Oh, there's more of me." And then she was like, "I have to go," and then she left. And that's when I was kind of curious. Like, okay.
Oh.
But then at the same time, it was like everything that happened from the beginning to that point. I was like, "This is dumb," Every cliche thing that could happen out of a zombie movie, they did. The point where that one zombie like was hitting his head, but he couldn't hear, so they had to like sneak behind him.
Oh
But
yeah.
one of
yeah.
them was holding a bottle. All of a sudden, he hit somebody, and then his bottle fell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so cliche. Or like when they fell down the stairs, cliches. So many cliche zombie stuff happened in that series to the point where like it's really nothing really new.
Yeah, and then you brought out Namra. I kind of want to bring up Namra became half human, half zombie,
Hamby.
half bee, where they
Half B.
No.
is it Hamby or
Hamby.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Hamby.
So essentially, there's also people who don't become zombies. They essentially do become zombies, but have superpowers, and they have their subconsciousness. Ideally, what the scientist Mr. Lee wanted it to do, the virus, and Namra was one of them.
You could say the bully was one of them too.
The bully
Yeah.
was one of them too. The emo girl that got bullied was one of them. So there's 3 of them in season 1. So I guess going on those 3, I want to talk about the bullied girl because her storyline was also pointless. She got bullied by the bully, the other half zombie later on, and you know they got her really messed up where they like record her naked and use that to blackmail her to keep bullying her. And when she became a half human, half zombie, she would be the most logical person to go for the bully zombie, right? She'll be the one that makes the most sense to go after him and kill him. But instead, they wasted her storyline. She just hated life. She hated everyone, and she got saved because you know she became a half human, half zombie. So the zombies don't care about her anymore. And then she stumbled across the police guy, and then she went to the camp, and she just became a pointless person where she met the emo guy that she got bullied with, and she ate him, and that was her storyline. Like she got captured to do research on. That's it. Like, wouldn't it make more sense if she stayed on the campus and like I'm gonna help these group out because screw this bully guy, right? Wouldn't that make her character more valuable and add more to the story? But it doesn't. It just goes off the rails like that. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that character.
Yeah, like you would kind of get to hope that the girl who got bullied and the bully actually get to see each other and then they actually like get to fight because they both have zombies now, you know. So okay, so and plus she hates him so much that I think then when she saw like some of the bullies that were already zombies, she like burned the place or like because she was at the soccer field already and she saw the bullies that were already zombie, so she got informed, so she went back to the school to burn the school, right? So I would assume, wouldn't you want to like find all the bullies or like just kind of saying like, wouldn't it be better to actually have them like actually see eye to eye since they're both half zombies and then like maybe like have a little corny fight off, but that never had. Her story just kind of disappeared. The actual bully, his story was obviously connected to the main story, which is cool. But at the same time, with that being said, every time they throw him off the building, he keep coming back, and every time they throw him back off the building, they expect like he's gone. Like when they throw him off the building, they pretty much don't care about it anymore, knowing that they threw him off the building before and he didn't die and he came back, you know. So I thought that was just kind of dumb. Like I thought that was dumb.
Got anything to say about those 2 characters?
Yeah, I
before we
mean,
move on
she
to
did
my
add a
number?
little curve to the story just because you know how she's at the camp and then they found out that she's half, so that's how they prevented the kids from being saved. So that kind of extended the story more for the children.
That's true.
But then they eventually, because they got eventually saved anyways.
Yeah. See, that's like the pointless thing because
Yeah.
when you said that, I was going to bring that up. Like, so, you know, the bully girl went to camp and because she's half human, half zombie, she craves for meat. So she ate the bullied kid because, you know, they got bullied together. So they hung out at the camp where, you know, people are safe. And she's like, I'm hungry. I want to eat you. So she ate him and they caught her, right? And they're like, the soldiers are now like, oh, don't save any students because we now know that some of them are asymptomatic. But just to later on, what they're gonna do is they're just gonna quarantine them in a separate area. So why not bring the students along, and quarantine them, which they did or later on, it's just kind
It's
of dumb like that.
stupid.
And then going on to Namra, this was like the deal breaker for me, where I just got done with this stupid show where Namra is also half human, half zombie. Half human, half zombie doesn't attract the zombies, right? They can walk through past the zombies. The zombies wouldn't care about them. So tell me why Namra is with them. They know she's half human, half zombie. And all these times they're stuck. They don't have the idea, hey, since you're half human, half zombie, why don't you do stuff? And
Wait, but did they know that she?
Yeah, I think
was,
they actually didn't know.
didn't know.
Because since like they're always close to each other.
Yeah.
She's never actually like by herself to a point where she could like they
No,
could actually
yeah.
know. I think the only
Versus
time
the bully, he
Yeah.
was by himself. He's like, oh, they not
Yeah.
doing nothing to me. So like, I think their group, they didn't know
Yeah.
like, oh,
it's like the
she's
bully
safe.
and the suicidal girl, like they were actually by themselves,
Mhm.
so they knew. But I think with her, like she was always around them, so like when the zombie chased them, like she didn't know and they didn't know either because they thought the zombie was just chasing all of them.
Mhm.
But I think the point where she figured was when they made that little what's that little at
The
the
fence?
gym? Yeah, when they made
Yeah.
a fence and she was closing it, but she noticed that they didn't really bite her hand or anything. And then I think that's when she noticed because it was like a pretty long scene of her just kind of like looking like she realized something, but she didn't say anything. That's the dumb thing about the series too. Like a lot of stuff happened that these characters don't really say anything. Just like the scarf girl that was it the handkerchief girl
Mhm.
that put the blood on that one guy. The character saw it, but she
Not
didn't say
much.
anything until the guy already turned to a zombie, and everything already got crazy. So it was kind of like you could have prevented something, or you could have did something, but you decided not to. And that
But
happened.
what if she thought,
Yeah,
yeah,
what was just that thing?
I just thought it
because
was
she
dumb.
saw her grab the blood on the mop. Yeah,
Yeah, I just thought it was dumb, man. Like, wouldn't if you got bit and you survived, wouldn't you be like, oh, I'm immune, I can do more, I don't have to be as scared, right? But they just never thought about it, and she never figured it out. But done with her story arc. Well, at the end, she found like a bunch of other half human, half zombies. And then next character, or I want to move on to characters that didn't really have to be there, which is the chubby guy who is there for the comedic relief. Like, I get it. I like his character, but he didn't really do much. The chubby girl, who everybody says the chubby guy and her should date, I don't even know her name. I don't even know what she likes or not. You remember
Which
that girl
one? Yeah,
in the
yeah.
pink?
yeah.
The chubby girl with them with split hair?
Was it chubby
She has like a
girl?
bow-
Yes,
she
he
wore like
don't
a-
remember.
she wore like a pink dress or something.
Yeah, the one that like the comedic relief guy always sit by and they're like, oh, you two should date.
I think I know, but she didn't look chubby to me.
Well,
She chubby?
she wasn't like chubby,
Oh.
but yeah, but like her character, like why is she there? Like she even was at the end going with them back to the school after it got bombed, but it's like, oh, I forgot about her, And then that Jin Mi girl or whatever, the skinny girl who she didn't add anything but just stupid dialogue. Like they're sitting at the bonfire and she just questions Namra like, you've been bitten still.
Isn't she the one when they're running up the hill to the gym and someone fell and she like
Yeah, those
she
two
just stood there and
girls.
watched them and then she ran away and eventually whatever happened to
Yeah,
her,
she
I don't know what
She got
happened.
hit by zombies and died. But those two girls, they're like pointless.
Oh yeah, I
The
don't
girl
know.
that tripped and that girl who left her. Those
See,
two girls
this
are
is like
pointless.
Character development is so bad that I don't even know who these characters are. I don't know their name. Like I don't even know how they really look like.
But that's how it be at high school, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know much people. They're just part of a group. Yeah.
Yeah, man, just
Yeah.
stuff
You-
like that. Like, why are
You
they
trying to
there?
say all
You know what
Asians
I'm
look
saying?
alike?
Yeah.
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 Like, why they're not even likable. They're just there. Like, I'm thinking they're there to die later on, but one of them did, but the other didn't. I'm like, why they did it though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And maybe season 2 will explain it. Yeah.
Fuck that.
All right,
I like the big dude. He was funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
the
funny.
show itself did have like a couple funny moments that I was like, oh yeah, like I
Yeah,
enjoyed
they had
that. I
like
enjoyed that
they
little
had a
funny
few
moment.
comedic scenes. Like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, dude. One of the pointless part was when the mom got on the little scooter and she fell. I was like, what the hell was the point of her falling for? Like,
I guess they
For
show that
real.
she's fragile.
like she just fell and then like boom.
Hey,
Like,
where did dad go though?
Huh?
Chunk Sound's dad.
where did he go?
He do just. I'm gonna go grab some paperwork. You just never showed up.
I don't
forgot
know,
about his
man.
dad.
See, all these stupid plot holes.
Yeah.
And like what I thought, when the scientist teacher got bit, right, and he turned into a zombie. But you know, he didn't turn to like the zombie. He turned to like he kind of was like the zombie where like he could be half human.
Oh yeah, he became like a
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
zombie.
He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he just looked like normal.
Yeah.
Like okay, he's
forgot
like the
about
first half
that.
human, half. So, but then the thing, so like that was like I was thinking, okay, maybe he's not gonna show up, but he may show up towards the end. But that was it. You never heard anything from him.
I forgot Mr. Lee turned.
But I
into
was
a
looking
smart
forward to
zombie.
that. I was like, okay, he looked like not that typical zombie.
Mhm.
Before like you even know there could be like a half zombie, half human. Before
Mhm.
that bully, but then when that bully became a half human, half zombie, that's when I realized, oh, the scientist teacher's half human, half zombie too. Then,
Mm.
but then you didn't get anything from him. All you got was his little dumb video recordings.
All right, and then before we, I'm gonna transition to the end. But before we do you guys have anything else to say about like any character stories or plot holes? Actually, talking about plot hole, I have one that just popped up. But do you guys have anything left to say before we move to the ending of the show?
I just think shit's stupid. I just think they're like small things that's stupid, like the firefighter when he was running up the stairs with the politicians and everything, and then he got tackled by one of the zombies, but below him the stairs are hit a bunch of zombies, and the politicians and the firefighter's partner were kind of already at the top trying to open the door.
Mhm.
So the firefighter kind of went through the steps to try to see if he's still alive down there, but it just shows him walking up the stairs, and the scene was shot behind him, right? It shows him walking up the stairs slowly like he's a zombie, but it turns out he was just kind of exhausted. But that scene was so slow where to the point where I kind of asked myself like, wait, where's all the other zombies? Because the
Yeah.
scene where he got tackled, there was so many zombies below him trying to get up to him. But then, boom, when the firefighter's partner went down to kind of just look, he kind of just walked up the stairs slowly like he's a zombie, but he was just exhausted, you know?
Dude, he drowned them
Plot
all.
hole.
Yeah,
Plot
he
hole.
drowned
So I
them
was like,
all with the
wait,
water hose.
I don't
That-
get it.
that
Everything
actually-
seemed like they have to rush through everything. Boom. When the firefighter's partner looked down, he just kind of got up like, ugh, like kind of exhausted. But wait, but where's the other zombies chasing you at? You know?
Yeah, that also remind me that scene was one of the dumbest scene ever. right?
Yeah.
They're running to it's like a zigzag stairs, like it kind of goes around, and then once they got to the top, there's still a bunch of zombies running towards them. Right, towards them. At the top, they have a layer of like plastic sheets. They threw the plastic sheet down, and all of a sudden, all the zombies got stuck because the plastic sheet. Like, wouldn't they just run through it? How did they get stuck in like? It's like they got stuck in a blanket, under a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they get stuck like that? All right, that's a plot hole. And another plot hole was the Arrowhead girl, right? The Arrow girl. She knew that headshots kill a zombie, right? Boom, headshot every time. Boom, boom, boom.
They don't even do. It's like neck shots, like a bunch of
That
us in the
too.
neck.
But then all of a sudden, when the half zombie, half human bully comes around, she just doesn't know about headshots anymore. She doesn't tell the group, "Hey, aim for the head," because the whole time I've been killing zombies by shooting on their head. She doesn't bring that up. And when that bully shows up, she all of a sudden just ran out of arrows too. Like, I don't know, man.
Because his story must be told. Yeah,
Yeah.
he can't be
Can't
killed
die.
yet. He must fulfill his eye gouging of the main character.
All right,
But
yeah.
just you would assume since this is like one of the, because you know how like in zombie movies and zombie shows they don't actually call them zombies, they just call them like walkers or like night stalkers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, they actually can recognize that these are zombie. They even like refer, Train to Busan.
Yeah.
So they know, kind of have a knowledge of, oh yeah, zombies. We could like we're supposed to hit them in the head, even though that may be stereotypical. But in this case, you do supposed to like hit them in the head or the neck. But even though they knew that these are zombies and they'd seen movies obviously where you're supposed to go for the head to kill them, they still don't do anything
That's
to the
true,
head.
that's
So
true.
it's kind of dumb. It's like you're like, it's not like if it's like a different show where like they don't recognize that these are actually zombies and like they've seen videos of zombies. This is a show where they confirm that, they acknowledge that there's zombie movies out there. They acknowledge that this is kind of like pretty much our life, because we see Train to Busan, they seen Train to Busan, so they should know like, oh, maybe we should go for the head. But none of them went for the head. They just went for the body, went for the arm.
That's true. That is kind of dumb because they mentioned that they watched Train to Busan. But talking about eye gouging, I'm gonna move towards the end of the series, where Chung San, the main character guy, and the bully finally has their 1-to-1 match. What happened was the bully finally bit him, Chung San, the main character, so he knows that he's becoming a zombie. So all the group is running somewhere else away from the school, and he has one-on-one time with the bully, and Chung San gets his ass beat and gets his eyes gouged out. What do you guys think about that?
I thought it was pretty. His acting was pretty good when he got his eye gouged. Yeah, he was like, "Rah!" Like, damn, that fucking sucks. But yeah,
I thought the acting was pretty good. I didn't like the way like they killed him pretty much. I guess not a lot of people. I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, but you don't know for sure if he dead." But still, like, because they're supposed to make you believe that he went out. Even maybe he might have been dead for real, but just the way that he died, like, I didn't really care for that too.
Yeah.
It was like obviously one of the sadder scenes, because like he's actually in the beginning and he died at the end, and he's like one of the person who I guess you could say that they character developed the most out of too. But at the same time, when he died, the way he died, it was kind of like, it wasn't really anything too, you know, how they set it up.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that scene was pretty good because he's the main character, go against basically the main villain of season 1, and he hasn't turned to a zombie yet. They have, he's still human. There's no signs that he's half human, half zombies. So it's with him one-on-one, right? And you're like, okay, the writing's super retarded. How is this main character gonna beat the bully who's been beating like all 5 of their asses at the same time? But he actually gets his ass beat and gets his eyes gouged out. Like, oh damn, that's pretty cool. I thought that was good and ruthless, because I feel like the whole time the show was trying to be kind of like Game of Thrones, where they kill off characters left and right. But like All of Us Are Dead does it in the dumbest way ever. Like, they build people up just to like go nowhere, and then finally they do ruthlessness the right way in the last scene, kinda, where the main character, you're rooting for him, but obviously he's gonna get his ass beat. But then he gets his eyes gouged too. That was kind of like, damn, that's crazy that they actually did let him get his eyes gouged like that. And then the militaries are bombing the cities that's most infected, so it leaves the assumption that he got blown up with the bully.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the last scene, all the zombie infected areas are bombed. All the group, Anjo and their group, are in the encampment, and they sneak out to the school because, to reminisce and pay respects to Chung San and Namra. Oh, Namra didn't go to the encampment because she's a half human, half zombie, so she know they won't let her in. So she pays the respect secretly by herself, Anjo, and she sees a bonfire on top of a roof, which that's what they did during the zombie outbreak. And so they meet up. They go to the roof of the school where they did the bonfire, and they see Namra. And then Namra reveals that there's more half human, half zombies like her, and they've been gathering. And then in the end, Namra's like, they're here. She jumps off. They all look up. They all look towards the screen. You don't see where they're looking at, and they're all like, some of them are like playing
These
face. Some
bitches
of them are
jump
like,
off the roof,
some of them
yeah.
are scared. Some of them they're like smiling. So it's kind of like, oh, what is it gonna be? What do you guys think? it's
All
gonna
I'll
be
say
the
is-
next season.
All I'll say is give the money to Kingdom to make season 3. Fuck this one. Fuck this show. Because if it's like this, and they're trying to like save some stuff for season 2, I don't even want to watch season 2 anymore.
I thought it was like at least enjoyable like the whole way. I guess because the action was good enough to cover up everything else that was flawed, and then just trying to figure out if they're gonna get out or not, and then the end where Namra jumps off the building. It's just like, okay, like all right, what's gonna happen next? And the assumption is that the main character survives and
Yeah.
he becomes one of them too. Yeah.
Yep, that's the assumption. And the assumption is, and the thing is, how many of there is there? And not all of them are gonna be good.
Mhm.
What if someone start the zombie outbreak again? Things like that. And Mr. Lee's a smart zombie. Totally forgot about that. One thing I also like to add, towards the end, when Chung Sun got killed by the bully, or got exploded, by the bomb while fighting the bully, the group was running outside the town, and then Namra, being a super zombie human, can sense zombies now. She's like, oh, they're coming. And you remember when I said the other Korean zombie movie, Stay Alive, like if someone on the 5th floor of their apartment moved a little bit, all the zombies outside hear them and runs to that noise. All of a sudden, that one scene when they were like running, like they escaped the school area, so they're in the town, but Namra said they're coming, so they're running, right? But like these zombies don't have superhuman hearing, but all of a sudden they could hear these main characters running, and all of them are running towards them. Like, I don't understand that.
I think they were just moving out of the school though. But I mean, that makes your point makes sense though. But I think it's just kind of like those randomness of like, oh, zombies just running through the town. That's
Hey,
my
man,
thought.
let's just run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this doesn't
And
make sense.
they're like moving outwards.
Another point is, when the half human, half zombie, the bullies started kind of developing hearing, and also the girl. I'm thinking at that time the suicidal girl was still in the school too, but how come she didn't develop hearing? So obviously she could hear maybe the survivors and stuff too, and possibly smell them, but there was none of that.
Mhm.
So I kind of thought like I've assumed that okay, maybe since they're developing hearing, they could hear like who's coming, they could hear this and that. So maybe the suicidal girl would develop hearing and smelling too, to a point where like she knows that the bully's alive. So maybe she's like, oh, he's still alive, I'm gonna go get him. But none of that happened.
Yeah.
So it was just, I mean, I'm not the one who said, oh, this is supposed to happen, but for the way they took it, I thought it was stupid. But the end did get me curious when she jumped off to meet with the other who's the same as her. But to me, I'm not really interested in watching the next season because they're just gonna write it like this. They're just gonna write it like this. If I don't care about them the first season, I don't think I'll really care about them the second.
Mhm.
All right. Before we give our rating for the show, any final thoughts about the show?
Give the money to Kingdom to make season 3.
All right, I'll start. I give this again. I love zombies. Even though I thought the writing and character development in the show was trash, I love zombies, so I enjoyed watching it. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's an average show. I wouldn't recommend it, but me myself being a zombie lover, I knew I would have watched it anyway. Like I enjoyed it while talking shit, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I still enjoyed it, even though it wasn't as good as it was. But I just wanted to see zombies killing people and seeing people escape. So I enjoyed it for what it is. Yeah.
What's your rating?
I'll say the same too. Yeah, like 2.5 out of 5. Like.
You sure you enjoyed it? You give it that? Just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the zombie chasing scenes and stuff. I just hate how everything's so repetitive too, where it's nothing new. They try to escape, they get stuck in one room, they argue, try to escape, it fails, stuck in one room, argue, try to escape. There's always something stopping them. which is obviously that's part of the movies or series where there's always something stopping you. But these are like something that's so cliche and so dumb, I would give it like a 2. I do like the zombies, and then like I said, I like how they kind of set it up, kind of like the world that they live in, but just kind of like these common sense and the fact that I feel like the characters, even though they're in a zombie movie, they act like they're still like in school, or like they act like the world's still normal. So that's what kind of ruined it for me. So 2 out of 5.
Okay. All right.